In our community, we are struggling with that right now. We have a city manager whose values he pressures the council to accept. One of those values seems to be being able to do to the people in the community rather than for them. What can they do to you rather than for you? They are considering several different options for increasing what the people of Molalla are going to be paying. One of them is a proposal to charge park and recreation fees to support or maintain the parks over in Big Meadow. There's going to be park and recreation fees that will pay for maintenance of all the parks in the city. They want to increase the money that you're paying in your water bill right now. There's a $5 a month surcharge that everybody in Molalla pays. They want to also charge another $5 a month, which has been proposed by the good people in the Sunrise Meadow or the Sunrise Acres.
Yeah.
Because they were saying that we need to have a say in our transportation. And I agree with them 100%. But if they want to have a say in their transportation, I think the best method of doing that is to have a committee consisting of members of the community that advise the city council the same as what we have with the Park and Recreation Board, the Arts and Culture Board, the Planning Commission, and this, that, and the other thing. And I think it should be a committee that is appointed by council members and not the mayor. I'm sorry, but I don't think that we're supposed to live in a democracy where everybody who participates in a committee has to be approved of by the mayor. You know, it should be the council members are accountable to you. You vote for us. The staff members of the city are not accountable to you. They're accountable to the city manager, and he is the only employee that the city council has. So if we're not going to have the city manager accountable to the city council, then the city council and you have no say in what's going to be done in this city. All the city council will be is just a group of people that endorses everything that the city manager and city staff want to do. Now, I don't know about you, but right now the planning department is operating at a $500,000 deficit, very close to that. We're talking about contracting out our planning services with the county. There's a great deal of opposition to that. I mean, we are just, the proposals that we get from city staff are heavily weighted against contracting out to anybody, heavily weighted in favor of retaining the current planning director and the current planning methods and permitting methods that are exercised in Molalla. And I'm sorry, but I can't buy that because it leaves you out of the equation. I mean, you are completely left out of the equation. We need a level playing field for our government. It can't be special interests get special considerations. The whole concept of democracy is the majority rule, but it's the same laws apply to everybody. And if they don't, then we're in serious trouble. And I think you share those values. I think you believe in the fundamental principles that this country was founded on, the constitutional principles that say that this is a nation of, by, and for the people, that we have our Creator endowed us with certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if somebody's going to take away those rights, there's always going to be somebody that will want to take away your rights. I can guarantee you of that. Whether it's the Muslims or whether it's some political party or the wealthy or whoever it is, there's always going to be somebody that will want to take away your rights. And if you want to preserve them, then you have to do your duty. And your duty is to your rights, to preserve your rights and participate in your government. And there's lots of ways you can do that. And Fred wanted me to point out, in the city council meetings, they always have a comment period. In the school board meetings, they always have a comment period. You don't have to go there and speak. You can submit written comments, and they become part of the record. So you can send an email that's directed at the city council and the mayor, and say, I want this entered into the comments for the next public meeting. And it has to be entered into the comments because you have a right to have your say in these meetings, whether you can attend the meeting or not. It's always good to be able to attend the meetings, but you can also send an email, you can send a letter, you can sign petitions. You have a right to participate in your government. And that's whether it's a school board or whether it's a city council. It's really important that you have your say expressed. And it was really important when we had the Sunrise Acres people expressing their concerns because they were frankly getting railroaded. I mean, why should they have to pay to have their streets maintained and anybody else in the city gets them maintained with the taxes that you're all paying for? So, I think I exceeded my 3 minutes, but
How much money did he spend on his little proposal?
the meeting that he had,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have heard that he bought a computer program and it cost something like $1,000.
The dollar amount that I have exposed so far without the computer program is he spent $800. Let me rephrase that. He took 800 tax dollars to have a meeting to tell us that he was gonna have us, I'm gonna be careful here, I don't wanna say what everybody's thinking. To have us pay.
You want me to turn the camera off?
No, I don't wanna turn the camera off, I'm gonna say it, I'll say it in public. Anyway, $800 to run a, just an idiot meeting, it was just stupid. I mean, he could have stood up and said, it's gonna cost you this much money, and I'm lying about what that is, cause it's only a third of what it, he said it was gonna cost $48,000 to rebuild an entire street. When I've worked construction my entire life, I know that's a third of what it's gonna cost to do it. So he said 48,000, he's lying through his.
With this Selwood Bridge thing with the vehicle registration fee, that is such a fiasco. Because all that is the metro cities in this county that are prevailing over the rural cities like Molalla, Estacada, Sandy, and Canby. If the city is a member of Metro, then their interests are being represented. When I ran for the county commission, I had 33% of the vote, 33,000 people that voted for me. I really see that as an exact split between how many people live in the metro areas of the county and how many people live in the rural areas. We are not getting represented out here, period. There is not a single member of the county commission that doesn't live in metro, period. And they don't want to have districting. None of them want to have districting because if they have districting, that will give more influence to the rural cities because then you will have a guaranteed representative from each district. But at large, it will always be the metro cities that will prevail, always. It will never be any different. If you think that you can get enough people in the rural areas, even if every single person who could vote in the rural areas of Multnomah County that are opposed to this Selwood Bridge issue or payment voted against Measure 3-372, the best you could count on is 33%. Because there's only 1/3 of the population that live outside of Metro. And that's how the commissioners run it. They run it so that all of the favors and all of the policies and everything are directed to the metro cities. The best thing that we could do would be to create our own county. I'm serious. You know, if we could have a new county which consisted of all the areas outside of Metro, then we would have some representation. But the way it is right now, we will never have any representation unless we have a district representation on the county commission. And that goes for the Selwood Bridge. It will probably be defeated, and I hate to sound negative, I've already cast my vote against the Selwood Bridge issue, 3-372, but you can just about bet that the metro cities will carry it. It's a matter of statistics. It's a matter of numbers.
We need some gerrymandering on our side.
Pardon me?
We need to gerrymander on our side. For the
We
county.
need to do something. I think Paul Savas is probably our best bet because he was very interested in the concerns of the rural areas during the campaign. but the others have maintained from the get-go that the voting in districts is not something they're going to support. And they have demonstrated last year when they voted for this Selwood Bridge participation, all of them, there wasn't any of them that voted against it, were there?
No.
For the tree ordinance.
Or the tree ordinance? Anything
Surface
that-
water control.
Anything that comes down to a question of the interests of the rural areas or the urban areas, the rural areas are gonna lose, period. So, anyway, I've gone way past my time, but please, if you haven't voted, don't vote for 372. I mean, you'll be sorry, I guarantee you.